There's a new House Party movie out. Is it a sequel? Is it a remake? Or is it a remakequel where it's a sequel but they're using the same title? Well, there is one scene that indicates the House Party movies exist in this movie's universe, so I guess remake is the right word. I do remember liking the originals when I was young, though weirdly the one I remember the most is the third, only because the Red Band trailer for it was on my Jason Goes to Hell VHS. Really, the Kid and Play movie I watched the most was Class Act, which I remember being hilarious. With this new House Party movie, I was with it at the beginning. There was something charming about how they really went out of their way to make this look and feel like a shenanigans comedy of the early 90s. With the old New Line logo in front of it, the musical score, the editing, the film grain look to it, those were all nice touches. There'd be a lot of camera mugging from the villains, but it'd be funny, especially since they worked that into their lines. With one of the bad guys constantly going too far in his threats. He threatens to turn a man's dick into juice at one point and force him to drink it. The plot is that house cleaners Kevin and Damon are cleaning Lebron James' mansion, and when they're fired, they hold the house party there to raise money for Kevin's daughter's tuition. When they get to the mansion to clean it, there's some good gags there, with it almost being this futuristic smart house, but with things like the ceiling dumping popcorn into a bucket. After a while though, the novelty of this being a throwback started to wear off, as so many stock things would happen, with no sense of irony, making it just feel derivative. Things like a clothes-changing montage, or cutaway gags, or a record scratch after a joke, and even some lines would be a little awkward, as if scenes were originally longer and then cut down, making the flow of some lines a little weird. The oddest thing about the movie is that it really starts to go downhill when the actual house party starts. After a while, it just becomes this non-stop rotation of cameo after cameo after cameo, with everything else being put on the back burner. And usually with bad lines attached to it, like Snoop Dogg, what did I tell you about smoking in the house? There will be cameos where they might as well peek their head in and say something like, check please. Plot points would happen because it feels like they're supposed to. Like, okay, Kevin has to start getting freaked out and saying things like, the party's going too far, we have to shut it down. Except when he says this, the party seems perfectly normal. He and Damon have to start fighting because they do the plot where one is upset because the other has potential to move up in the world and he may forget about him. Really, the best thing about the party is when they leave the party. Kid Cudi is in this, and he is extremely funny as this weird, sinister version of himself. He steals the entire film. There's a subplot where they have to sneak into the Illuminati to steal a championship ring, and this sequence works and gets surprisingly graphic. There are decapitations and reincarnations in a house party movie. Overall though, there's way too many long stretches without any laughs. I'll give it a C, because the laughs that are there make it okay for a streaming watch. And while you're at it, subscribe to us over on patreon.com/thecinemasnob, where now you can see the first part in our upcoming supersized Cinema Snob episode on 1961 in film, with this part featuring 101 Dalmatians, Gorgo, and more. Click on the link in the description and we hope to see you there.